Even after 10 years of living in Iceland, there are still places that catch me completely off guard. And this was one of them. A hidden valley behind Vík, reached by a rough gravel road, surrounded by moss-covered cliffs, glacier views, hiking trails, and one of the most beautiful campsites I have seen anywhere in Iceland. My name is Jan, welcome to Þakgil. We are starting just east of Vík, where you leave the main road and turn onto Road 214. The road to Þakgil is only about 16 kilometers from the main road, but it feels much longer, mostly because you will want to stop every few minutes. Technically this is not an F-road, so you don't need a proper 4x4 to drive here, but still I wouldn't underestimate it. The road can be rough in places, especially for smaller cars, and depending on the conditions, clearance and traction can become a real issue here. As you get closer, the names start to make sense. Þakgil roughly translates to something like roof canyon. And when you see the cliffs closing in around the campsite, you understand why. It feels like the valley has its own walls. Sheltered, quiet, and completely separated from the rest of the south coast. There is a campsite here, a couple of cabins, a small stream running through the area. No doubt this is one of the coolest campsites you'll find anywhere in Iceland. I didn't have much time to settle in, because I had started the hike later than I should have. The plan was to follow the yellow trail toward the glacier, then connect onto the main red trail on the way back to the campsite. Not long after I started, the bad weather I had seen in the forecast finally caught up with me. Altogether I had roughly 16 kilometers ahead of me, and because this was October, that was already not ideal. Unlike in summer, the days in October are much shorter, and the light disappears fast.
Well, I guess it cannot always be sunny, huh? The rain finally stopped. Check out this light, this is amazing.
As I climbed higher, I reached the snowline, the clouds started to lift, and before long the glacier views opened up in front of me. From the ridge you get these incredible views toward Katla and Kötlujökull glacier. And this is the part that makes the entire hike worth it. Because from below Þakgil already looks impressive, but once you get higher you start to understand how wild this area actually is. Actually, there is also a white trail branching off toward an icefall. And I really wanted to check it out, but the trail was covered in snow and I knew I was already starting to run out of daylight. And somewhere here, instead of making the smart choice and taking the more straightforward ATV track down, I decided to connect onto the longer red trail. I knew it would be more interesting, and I figured that if I moved quickly and ran a few sections, I could still make it back to the campsite before dark. And looking back, that was a bit too optimistic.
This place is amazing.
At this point, I could feel the light disappearing.
I really wish I could spend more time here, but I'm already so late. I'll have to come back. This place is incredible. And this is, by the way, the red trail, and I'm now on the way back to Thakgil. And it continues somewhere there. Just hoping there's not more uphills. It's one way to find out, but the sun has set and I'm running out of time, so let's get moving.
The footage doesn't really do it justice, but this was the steepest and sketchiest part of the trail. Not exactly the place where I wanted to be hiking blindly in the dark. And so at this point, I stopped filming and went into a full focus mode. From here, the priority was simply getting back safely, and eventually I made it. The next morning, Thakgil did not exactly give me the perfect sunrise ending.
So there's actually one good thing about camping late in the season. I'm the only person in the campsite, and of course the campsite is officially closed, and so you don't have the facilities like the kitchen and the bathrooms and the running water and all that. But if you plan around it and always, plan your day so you always end up somewhere in the town where you can do all these things, then you have many places like this all to yourself.
As I started making my way back toward Vík, I kept thinking about how incredible this place is and how much Iceland still has waiting for you if you're willing to look beyond the obvious ring road stops. Thakgil is one of those places, and knowing I only scratched the surface of what can be explored here, I already know I'll be back.